Joining me live now, Angad Singh. He's one of India's most sought after and well-known experts on military aviation, military history and aviation history. Also with us is former Vice Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Anil Khosla. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me here on the show today. Lots of questions, lots of intrigue over the F-35s. Air Marshal Khosla, with your permission, I'll go to Angad first so that we don't lose that line with him. And Angad's also at the Aero India show. Angad, I know it was a very happy moment to see the F-35s landing there at Yelahanka. Lots of fun with your camera, etc. But, getting down to the serious stuffs, what do you think, Angad? Is this, messaging? Is this muscle flexing? Is there a sales pitch somewhere here? What do you think?
I'll start from the back, Shiv. Yeah. I don't think there's a sales pitch. You laid out quite succinctly why a sales pitch for F-35 is just not on the cards at the moment. Beyond that, I think it's a way for the US to signal both to New Delhi and other countries that even if weapons sales aren't the cornerstone of a relationship, there is a cooperation and a collaboration at the military level between our two countries, India and the US. And I don't know if you know, but the US also sent a pair of B-1B
yes.
strategic bombers over Yelahanka today, and they're going to be flying over the air show over the next couple of days as well. So this is more of a signaling exercise from the US to the broader Indo-Pacific.
Yes.
It's a confidence building and public relations exercise more than anything else. But there's also a subtext where India isn't excited by yesterday's technology. India is excited by the future, right? And we're looking at AMCA, we're looking at LCA Mark II and things like that.
Right.
An F-35 pitch could really upend Indian defense procurement planning, should it be made. And I think that reality isn't lost on the people that send the F-35 to Yelahanka. But at the same time, you have this, India and the US on the F-35 especially have played this sort of game of don't ask, don't tell. Both sides know it's not on the table. So the Indians won't ask for it to avoid the embarrassment of a rejection, and the Americans won't offer it because they can't.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting situation right now, and as you say, I think it's mostly a muscle flex with a hint of, here's what you're missing.
Okay, very interesting. So it's more signaling than a sales pitch. Air Marshal Khosla, you've been in the trenches of the Air Force. You've seen procurement, you've seen planning, and like Angad rightly said, there's a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing as far as the F-35 is concerned. As far as Indian procurement is concerned, you've usually seen US officials from the from the Pentagon or from Lockheed Martin say that that India considering the F-16 means that at the end of that journey there will be the F-35 waiting for it. That's as far as they've actually gone in pitching the F-35 for India. But what has the Air Force's experience been, sir, as far as the F-35 is concerned? Have there ever been conversations where it has been more than just placed on the table or hung in front of the Air Force?
Yeah, okay, Shiv, between you and Angad, I think you covered everything. Yeah. And it's a tricky question you ask because all the air marshals get trolled in the social media that the air marshals only want to play with the foreign toys. Notwithstanding that, you covered most of the aspects. And of course, it's a good aircraft, and anybody would like to have it in their inventory. But can we afford it? That is one question. Second is, you already brought out that it does not fall in our scheme of things. At the moment, we are trying to get on our feet. We are trying to be Atmanirbhar. We are trying to develop our own program. In that situation, we cannot buy. But having said that, at the moment, our need is, keeping in mind our adversaries, their attitude, their capabilities, to have minimum deterrence capability, and while doing that, support our Atmanirbharta. And minimum deterrence capability needs a balance of numbers and quality of aircraft. But F-35 at the moment, firstly, is not on the offer. Secondly, nobody will share the latest technology. Third is the cost factor. there's another fourth thing. At the moment, their production capability, their domestic needs, as well as their partners and the NATO partners, their needs, their production house at the moment is full.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will be able to accommodate even if we want to, and not that we want to. So that is where it stands at the moment, and the way they have come in with their F-35, F-22, B-1 bombers, F-16, F-18, static display, air display. It's a clear political signaling to the world, to the other countries who are watching, that we are with India.
Very, very true. Angad, you've tracked this very, very closely. India's sort of perplexing fighter aircraft contests, the multiplicity of them over the years and decades. But, is there also an element, the F-35 being brought to India, is there also an element over and above everything that you've said of the US sort of getting a sense that they're missing out, that, these deals have been slipping away from them? India, awarded one deal to the Rafale. There are indications that the Navy is leaning towards the Rafale as well. Who knows what's going to happen in the Air Force contest as well. So are they dangling this aircraft right now saying, look, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, to an extent, yes. Like I said, it's definitely there's definitely a sort of an element of snide sort of look at what you could have to this, I feel. But at the same time, a superpower like the US, I don't think is going to be insecure about losing defense deals, which is why I see this more as a signal of security, cooperation, and commitment than a sort of an exercise in needling. Again.
Sure. Yeah.
At the end of the day, and especially in the world of defense and security, where emergent scenarios can force decisions, and we've seen, emergency procurement, and I've written extensively about what they mean and don't mean for Indian defense. But induction of the F-35 isn't impossible, but what it is not feasible. Yeah. It would require a complete overhaul of how we do business. It would require completely delinking from Russia, for one.
Correct.
And that's what makes it impossible to get past. It's not that the US wouldn't be willing to part with certain technology. I mean, there would always be some amount held back.
Yeah.
But we've seen, I mean, the F-35 is a truly multinational program.
Yeah.
And there are prime contractors involved in that program that are not of US origin. So there are entire systems on that aircraft that originate outside the US and then are supplied back to the US and to all international customers. It's a really interesting model for defense cooperation and production. It's just a model that where India is today, we can't plug into that model. It would require far too much near-term pain to be absorbed for a single product.
Absolutely. Air Marshal Khosla, final question to you, sir. Like Angad mentioned earlier as well, we have our own, the AMCA program, which seeks to build a futuristic stealth fighter of its own. Many of the proposed features would be comparable to what the F-35 already apparently has. How would you assess India's own effort and India's own program? Because at the end of the day, this is stuff that no country will share with us. We have to perforce develop them ourselves. How far along are we? How good is our program, sir?
Yeah, so, that's a very question which is asked very frequently. And, the LCA project had itches and it took time to mature. But having matured now, I think we can, and the way we have last 5 to 7 years, under various headings, we have under various verticals, we have made effort by the government to enhance our defense production, as well as in technology, as well as ease out the business rules, then encourage the MSMEs, make techno parks, a whole lot of effort under 16, 17 verticals. They're showing result. We have, the speed has picked up. So the deadlines have been announced for LCA Mark II as well as AMCA, and I hope we meet them. But there is one thing which I want to tag here. If you see the 5th generation aircraft, which 3 or 4 countries have at the moment got, Su-57 of Russia and US, these 2 aircraft, and China claiming J-20 to be this thing. But 6th generation work has already started, but there is a trend there. What I'm bringing out is that no country is going alone into designing and producing these sixth generation aircraft.
Yeah,
They are going
yeah.
into, two or three together
Hmm.
to fund this thing. So I think there maybe we will need some hand holding and some sort of technology infusion from various countries who have already developed this, like you brought out
Yes,
the fifth generation aircraft. So the engine is another problem. China's industry is doing well, but they're still
absolutely.
struggling with the engine. They are still
Hmm.
using Russian engines. So, and we are also in a similar situation. Kaveri engine, we are having problems. And we have said that AMCA Mark II will come out with indigenous engine, this thing.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
various companies are making forays, and
So,
they are offering
yeah.
some sort of
So,
technology
yeah.
even
So
in aero engine.
basically, there is a long way to go. In many ways, India doesn't have a choice. But like you said, many of these projects are multinational projects, as indeed, as Angad said, the F-35 was. It had the United Kingdom also involved in the development process, part of the part of the group that funded the entire F-35 program. So could India's path ahead also be a partnership with another country? Very, very interesting. As always, I learn a lot from the both of you, Angad and Air Marshal Khosla. Pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. Angad, enjoy the rest of Aero India as well there in Yelahanka. We'll keep a lookout for that.